this girl got my Facebook timeline in an uproar because she posted a status that said most men are emotionally attracted to other men, just sexually attracted to women.
Cap.
And I want to get into it because she ain't told a lie yet.
Cap.
Yet.
What up? This is your boy Agree to Disagree, and I'm coming at you again with another video review. We got some good stuff coming your way, so let's get right into it.
Well, I had to learn this. I do not correct my husband. I believe that it is my responsibility to have the confidence to give him my perspective. Then we can talk about it and he can self-correct. I love him so much, and I desire to honor and respect him. And I married him, so I would assume that he wants me to feel the same exact way. To take my perspective into high consideration with his actions. But I married a grown man. I'm not going to be disrespectful and talk to him like a child.
I think what people are going to get caught up with this video is the I do not correct my husband. They're going to get caught up on that phrase. And I really wish she would rephrase that, because my ego and pride is not so big where I feel like I don't need to be corrected. You know, I would hope that if I'm going around saying 2 + 2 is 5, my woman would step in and be like, nah, baby, 2 + 2 is 4. Right? My ego, the male ego isn't that fragile to where you can't tell me that I'm doing something wrong. How she should have phrased it is that I do not argue with my husband instead of I do not correct my husband. Because to me, I feel like it is very well in reason to correct your husband. But there's no reason to be combative. There's no reason to argue. There's no reason to belittle him. As she said, you know, he's a grown man. You know, I'm not going to talk disrespectful, and I'm not going to talk to him like a child. So I think that's really what the basis of what she's trying to say here, versus, you know, I'm not trying to correct my man. But but what she talks about is that, you know, one, as the wife, you know, I would hope that he would value my perspective. So if you know, have a disagreement with your husband about something that's going on, you know, there's no reason to be combative and get angry and be like, nah, that's stupid and blah, blah, blah. You can just be like, hey, babe, you know, have you ever considered doing it like this? And I think this way will work better, and here's the reasons why, versus being combative and angry. And that's the thing, is like, women aren't going to go to their boss and talk disrespectful when their boss comes up with a plan that they don't agree with. They're gonna go to the office like, hey, can I talk to you in your office? Hey, listen, I know you wanted us to do this, but I wanted to tell you why that might not be the best way. Can I pick your head as to why you think that way is better versus doing it this way? You know, that's how you would talk to your boss. And when you look at a marriage, the man is the lead. The man, you know, marriage is like a business. The man is the leader, or I say he's like the owner of the corporation, and then your wife is the manager. And you know, your wife, you have to trust her to make decisions and handle things, and you chose her for a reason, so you're going to value her opinion on certain things. And so I think that's the key point here, is that, ladies, you know, if you got a man who you value, you cherish, you picked him, that's your man, that's your leader, then there's no need to really argue with that man. Think, if I'm not going to talk to my boss like this, I shouldn't talk to my husband like this. And I think that's the mindset that women should have when they're in a marriage.
Finally understand that men actually have to budget women in their...
This is the reason why a lot of men are single, because if I buy a steak dinner and for me it's $40-some, I've been doing that a lot. Now I gotta buy double that each time. And imagine if she's ungrateful. Imagine if she's rude. Imagine if she's just using you. Imagine if every date you're going on just ends up being a failure. Because you know what? Men are catching on. Y'all scam men for free dates. Y'all scam men for money. Y'all scam men in general. Do you guys even care about their mental health? Oh wait, I'm a pick me. Ya cállate. Let me be quiet. What's wrong with a smoothie date? A gym date? You set up a picnic for me? Boy, take them clothes off. I'm not motherfucking playing. This black queen right here has her head on straight because she knows for a damn fact men provide more for women. You guys would never understand because you guys aren't the one paying for dates all the time. Pay for dates all the time and watch them fail and see how upset you would get. Men have feelings too, you guys. They're not just as evil like you say they are. If you can't buy yourself a steak dinner, stop asking a man to because you're a bum.
Facts. I appreciate sis for saying this. But I mean, I feel like you shouldn't use people in general. And I think that goes both ways. Stop using these dudes for free meals and fancy purses and things like that. And dudes need to stop using women for sex. And if that's what the relationship is and that's how you want it to be, transactional, then you have to be upfront about what it is that you want and what it is you're expecting right out the gate. Because what's happening is these good men are going on these dates with women expecting to have a genuine emotional connection with them, but the woman's just out there to get wined and dined and look pretty. And so you end up ruining a lot of good men that way. And so dudes, like, you have to be careful. And we're out here removing very hesitant because we don't want to get used. We don't want to get taken advantage of. It's not a good feeling. And paying for a date, like a lot of women look at that as a small thing. It's really not a small thing. Because I'm going to tell you straight up myself, like, I don't eat at a lot of fancy restaurants and things like that. So if I'm just feeding myself over the weekend, I might spend $30-$40, if that. But when I'm in a relationship and I'm dating, over the weekend, if we go out a couple of times, I might spend $100-$200 depending on where we're going. So it's not just a throwaway thing where it's like, oh, well, it's nothing, you just paying for a date. Nah, that shit adds up. That shit adds up. And a couple of $100-$200 dinners, I could have got me some Jordans with that money. So you have to understand, women, that men are sacrificing just to spend time with you. So take that into consideration. Understand that some men are going above and beyond just to try to impress you, and some men foolishly will stress their pockets to try to make this whole dating thing work. And they might not be able to buy the things that they normally like to buy just because they're going out on a date with you. So that's the sacrifice that they're making to spend time with you. And I know some of you women are thinking, oh, well, I'm worth it and I had to get cute and put on makeup and all this other stuff. Well, y'all women say that y'all wear makeup and get dressed up for yourself, not for the men. So you was gonna do that anyway. But men aren't going out there and spending $100 and $200 at a restaurant just cause. They only do that for you. That's the sacrifice that they make for you. So as a woman, you need to understand that. You need to appreciate that and value that man's time.
This girl got my Facebook timeline in an uproar because she posted a status that said most men are emotionally attracted to other men, just sexually attracted to women.
Cat.
And I want to get into it because she ain't told a lie yet.
Cat. Cat.
I feel like most men are unable to process
man in the
this
background
statement because
said,
they're
"Cat."
focusing on how she's saying it instead of what she's actually trying to say. They automatically hear, oh, she's coming at my masculinity, she's calling me gay. But in reality, that's not what it is. If you think about it, men spend the majority of their free time with other men, be it they friends, they cousins, they brothers, whoever. They go to the gym together. They play the video games together. They argue in a group chat about sports together. They talk on FaceTime together. They plan group trips together. They smoke together. They go to the club together. All of this free time and bonding that they choose to do with other men, where there's tons of women that I'm sure they're sexually attracted to that can't get 5 minutes of their quality time. I know my ladies can attest to it. When a man act like he interested in you, it's so hard to get them to text back on a consistent basis, to get them to FaceTime you regularly, to get them to plan dates, to actually get to know you, and God forbid going a trip out of town. Oh my God. But if you wanted to hunch them, oh, they're gonna be at that door hot and ready like a hot pocket. And so I think that's the reason why she said what she said.
You
because
think?
most of the time, if y'all had a choice about who y'all get to spend y'all time with, who y'all get to build bonds with, who y'all get to confide in, who y'all have intellectual conversations with, who y'all build long-lasting relationships with, it's going to be your friends, your partners, your homies. But when it comes to just being able to do sexual things and get sexual favors, then yeah, that's when the woman comes in, afterthought.
Okay, so the first thing here is that she got it extremely twisted as far as the whole emotionally attracted to men. Actually, the reason why men are able to bond and get along so well is because we take the emotion out of it. We don't need this big emotional bond in order to get along with the men in our lives. You know, it could be some random dude, he's playing 2K. Hey bro, you mind if I play 2K? And we'll sit there and play 2K for hours, chop it up, whoop whoop, and have a good time and move the hell on. And we might not even hit each other up for days or weeks or whatever after. I have close male friends who I may go weeks without talking to. I feel bad about it, but when we hit each other back up, it's no big deal. It's no big deal. Like, we'll pick right up where we left off. Like, hey man, I ain't talked to you forever, but man, let's chop it up, bro. We keep it light. There's no emotions attached, and that's how men are able to have those bonds stay around for so long, and we just able to kick it. Whereas a woman, if you have a friend and she goes a couple of weeks without texting or calling, like it's beef, and you on the phone with the other friend talking shit about her because she hasn't called and texted you in a while. Whereas guys won't call and text in a while, and it's whatever, yo. Like, yo, you get at me when you get at me. Like, I might talk to him like, man, nigga, man, you ain't hit me up in a little while. And then we just gonna move on, and that's gonna be it. There's not gonna be a big back and forth. There's not gonna be a long dialogue. It's just gonna be like, oh man, you ain't hit me up in a minute. And you're gonna be like, yeah, man, my bad, G. I've been having some stuff, man. Don't even worry about it, G. Let's go on. And see, that's how, like, men keep it light, men keep it fun. We keep the emotions out of it for the most part. And that's how we are able to keep those bonds. And I'm not saying that men don't express themselves with other men, but that's usually reserved for our, like, very, very close friends. Men don't just open up to anybody emotionally. We say that for the people who are really close in our lives, the people who prove themselves to us. Those are the people we open up emotionally with. So this whole thing about men being emotionally attached to men, honestly, that's just an attack that they use on heterosexual men to try to, you know, attack our masculinity and say, oh, you in love with your boys because you love, you know, you love kicking it with them. And it's like, oh, like, you just not easy to get along with. And that's the truth. You're just not easy to get along with. So if you are someone who is easy to get along with, someone who's not combative, someone who doesn't nag and argue all the damn time, then you will see that a man is going to want to spend time with you. And honestly, I think this woman and women who think like her are just jealous of the bond that men have with their boys, and they're upset that they're unable to keep the attention of the men that they are with because they're boring, or they're hard to get along with, or they don't bring that peace and fun that our boys bring. And so if you're not coming with that same type of energy, then that's probably the reason why the dudes are not sticking around and rather kick it with their boys. Because if, you know, he coming around you and all you doing is a bunch of nagging and arguing and complaining about stuff, then there's no reason why he rather, like, you know what, I'm just gonna go kick it with my boys. Because if you can't be that peace, then he gonna be like, nah, you know what, I'm out. But if you can provide that as a woman, then he's going to stick around. And when a man finds that, that's the person who he is emotionally attached to. All right, that's all I got for this one. Let me know what you thought of the video. What points did you agree with? What points did you disagree with? Leave your comments below and let me know what you thought. And if you got anything out of this video, hit that like button. This is Agree to Disagree. I'm out.